Hi folks, welcome back to Travels with Paddles. My name's James, and today we have something rather special as we are at Corpach in Scotland, which is the southwestern start of the Great Glen. Before we get started, I'd like to say a few more words of introduction. The Great Glen Canoe Trail is one of those classic trips that I've had in my bucket list for about 6 or 7 years, ever since I first read about it in Paddler magazine. I've actually tried organising this trip twice already with our group, but both times the dates fell within COVID lockdown, and so of course they all got cancelled. However, in 2022 we managed to get going and get ourselves up to Scotland. Most people run the Great Glen Canoe Trail as what is effectively a single trip with camping stops along the way. However, with our group, I decided that we were going to run it as 4 individual day trips based out of a cottage in Drumnadrochit, which we rented for the week. The total distance of the Glen is about 60 miles, and I've managed to break it down into roughly 15-mile segments. Anyway, enough of me talking, and let's get on with the paddling. I hope you enjoy the next 4 videos. Here's a map of the route for day 1, which is Corpach to Letter Finlay. Total distance around 14.5 miles. As we were only parking for the day, the lock keepers allowed us to use their car park at the sea lock, so we are literally starting at the beginning of the Glen. We were also super lucky as the Jacobite steam train was just heading out from Fort William. After the sea locks, there's a small basin followed by another set of 3 locks. It's not really worth paddling this short distance, so it's portage time already. At last, we're on the water and starting the paddle. The first section of the Great Glen from Fort William is part of the Caledonian Canal. There's around a mile of easy paddling, and then as you approach this railway bridge there's a pontoon on the right that you need to get out at. It's definitely worth taking portage wheels as this is quite a long portage. I have to say this is the first time I've ever portaged across a railway line. Once you've crossed the railway and then the road, you're at the bottom of Neptune's staircase, a long flight of locks. Once you reach the top though, it's back on the water and no more locks until Great Lochy. This is still the Caledonian Canal that runs parallel to the River Lochy, but don't be tempted to take the river at this point as it flows down in the opposite direction. It was ideal paddling conditions as there was virtually no wind. This mirrored surface was a quick taster of what was to come later. It's difficult to make out, but Alex is actually pointing at a small black furry animal, possibly a mink or an otter, crawling along the bank there. Here, we're approaching Moy Bridge and it was about time to stop for lunch. Here's a trivia fact. Moy Bridge is the only known cast iron swing bridge in the United Kingdom. It also has an unusual double leaf design. There's some serious counterweight here. Can you spot the slow worm? It's about time I introduced the team, so here we have Jane, Martin and Sarah, Tony, and Alex and Hannah. The large marker buoys as we approach Great Lochy highlight the fact that this is quite a major navigation. At Great Lochy you need to get out at the pontoon on the left, and then there's a fairly long portage around 2 sets of locks. This is the basin between the 2 locks. Rather awkwardly, the pontoon to relaunch is on the right hand side of the canal, so you do have to cross over the locks with your boats. As soon as you leave Great Lochy, you are in Loch Lochy. Now, in a wider expanse of water, the scenery just seems much grander. We'd been paddling for an hour or so we decided to have a tea break, and I flew my new drone for the first time ever. I bought the drone and obtained my flyer's and operator's licenses just before the trip, so I was particularly keen to give it a go. Unfortunately, in future days the wind was a bit too high, so I didn't get to use it that much, but this is one of the times that I did. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this kind of footage. After a quick break, it was time to get back on the water and just enjoy the views. The scenery in Scotland is generally pretty good, but here it was just stunning. As we pass this large white hotel on the right hand side, we're pretty much approaching the end of this day's paddle, and what a fantastic paddle it's been so far. Really looking forward to the remaining 3 days. This is our get out at the Loch Lochy viewpoint in a lay-by on the A82 near Letter Finlay. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it's inspired you to watch day 2. Please do like and subscribe, and until next time, stay safe on the water.